Are you gonna cut it?
Like a remote?
Oh, is it playing right now?
It's totally on. Jesse will edit it all out. Or he'll leave it in.
He left in so much of last week's because I was talking, walking over like,
well, the first one
guys, it's on, hope it works. He left it all.
The first one we ever did, I was like, I'm burping, like, and I'm like, that's all on. Oh yeah, now it's on again.
So,
perfect.
Welcome to 16.3. We have a new location. We're at No Pants' house, and we're missing your other half. We're missing Keegan, but here with Jackie and No Pants, we're going to talk about 16.3. We just heard the announcement a couple hours ago. 7-minute AMRAP, 10 power snatches at 75 or 55, and then 3 bar muscle ups, which is awesome because it's new and different. I think it's kind of hilarious that GameSite and Crossfit.com have been reposting all these people getting their ring muscle up.
I know.
First ring muscle up like the last 2 weeks, like just in time for the Open. And not saying that those people don't maybe also have their bar, but a lot of times, like when they say first, like that's what they've been working on for the Open.
Yeah.
And here it is.
Yeah.
Useless bar muscle ups for this
One of the last minute bar muscle ups in the next 5 days.
Yeah, seriously, your phone's gonna be ringing off.
Oh my god.
I know
my inbox is so full.
I mean, when I hear bar muscle ups, I automatically thought Jackie, because that's a move that I feel really well.
I feel if people can apply what they learned on the ring muscle up to the bar muscle up, it's cake. But they're gonna try to like change it when it's the same
movement.
Damn
it
thing.
It is literally the same
and
movement,
easier.
except you don't have to stabilize the rings.
Yes.
You just push down on the bar and it's there. Just throw your stomach over and you're up there.
Yeah.
But
so let's talk about let's start breaking it down with the 10 power. So first of all, 7-minute workout, which means it's going to be faster than it was. Okay, not fast. So this is, I think, the biggest problem people are going to make. They're going to spaz out really fast in the beginning because they think spazzing out is fast, and then they're just going to die down really fast.
7 minutes isn't a sprint.
No. This is a very methodical 10 reps, very paced and breathing as you go. It's not a rip it off the ground and go because you're going to die in 3 minutes.
True. Yes. Yeah. So like once you get that heart rate elevated with the 10 rep power snatch, you're not going to be able to calm it down. No. Even though you might be saying, oh, it's only 3 bar muscle ups. No. That's enough to keep your heart rate elevated, and you're going right back to the 10. These are going to be quick rounds as it is. If you come out of the gates, like you're saying, blazing hot, you might really get hit with it in 2 minutes in, you know, 3 rounds in or something like that. So
yeah, I think the biggest thing for that is finding methodical pace, okay, and staying tight in your belly and making sure, like warming up with good mornings, just anything flexion, extension of the hip, making sure you're ready to bring it down, tap the ground, come back up, and a really smooth transition. Don't round your back to get up and down. You're gonna end up fatiguing faster. The goal is always to keep a steady heart rate as you move. So if you're moving too fast, your breath can't keep up with that. You're gonna find yourself huffing and puffing before you get on the bar for a muscle up. So breathe every rep, collect yourself before you go up to the bar.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish it was heavier, because at heavier you get more breaks, and you can slow down. If you did last year's what was it, snatches and double unders?
That was 2 years ago.
2 years ago, your grip is lightweight snatches is gonna kill your grip no matter what.
If you can hook grip, you have to hook grip this workout. You don't want to just hold on to that bar with any more form than you want to. Breathing on top of every single rep. I think people get confused about when they're supposed to breathe when they're lifting. Like you want to breathe on top when your arms are up.
Right.
And then I think people are going to want to muscle snatch it because it's light at first. And I think even if you don't have to dip underneath that bar, you should dip underneath the bar, even in the very first round. Don't go out 30-second rounds.
How you start should be how you finish. It should not.
Sprint at the end. I'm all about sprinting the last 45 seconds, last minute, but you shouldn't. Your first round shouldn't be the fastest round.
Don't think, oh, this is light, oh, whatever, I got this. It's like, no, this is light, it's going to suck even more. Right. So make sure that you move at a decent pace.
So if so 14.1 to me is the first one that came to mind because it was the same 10 at the same weight. And then being coupled with 30 doubles, it sucked on the cardio side of it. Didn't really give your shoulders a break. I guess technically gave your grip a break, but like everyone said, that one was such a grip suck. And that was 10 minutes? 12, that was 10 minutes, right? So it was a little bit longer, but now we're pairing it with a more grippy movement with the bar muscle.
And more dynamic. So it's not like smooth. It's a dynamic grip, which I think plays more than just holding onto a
because we would tell people on the doubles,
loosen your grip.
Recover on the doubles, right?
You're not going to loosen your grip on the muscle up. You're going to be holding on for dear life.
Yeah. Right. Arguably more grip intensity on those 3 than on the 10. But what do you think about someone who has done that workout 14.1 like we have and be able to compare their strategy in terms of pacing, in terms of power snatch versus muscle snatch, or when did you start breaking up your 10? What do you guys think? Similar or different enough that you gotta kind of start with a clean slate when you game plan it?
So when I did 14.1, I did all the snatches unbroken, and I did them all muscle snatches, and I had no hook grip. So I think I would be an exception for that because I didn't hook grip back then. I didn't hook grip at the games. Probably the only person who didn't do that. But I was very methodical. Like I had the same tempo, and I could hear the bar hit my hips, hit the ground every single time, and every single rep for the 10 minutes was identical. And then my double unders, every single rep was identical, and I didn't break any point. I didn't stop and sing around, but I was always moving. But it was like a nice, easy pace where I could breathe the whole time, and there was no like panic, no stress. Like the last minute was sprinting, and that's it. No other sprinting besides that.
So it sounds like similar to if you have a baseline to go off of. 14.1 and you know how you paced it. Maybe that would be a good place to compare your snatching.
A perfect form for every single rep. No need to just like rip or waste any effort. Like speeding up at any point. Just smooth.
So then you burn out your grip, and then you got to do 3 bar muscle ups. So your strategy is going to depend on your level, obviously. If this is your shit, go for 3. If it's not, and you're hoping to get 1, rest, recover, and go for it. But you've got to really, it's going to depend. Like Katie and I'll probably have a different strategy on that. I mean, I'm planning on going unbroken, but your plans completely change once that suck comes in a workout.
I'm the same way. I was like, well, it's 3. I want to go unbroken. And as someone who has bar muscle ups and multiples, I want to say that my first rep is usually, to me, the harder one, the most effort. Rep 2 and 3 in a 3 rep is, you have that momentum from coming down, and that carries over into the kip, makes the kip a little bit, more explosive, faster. So I'm thinking like, oh, the first one's a hard one, 2 and 3 are easier, so of course I'm going to string them together. But I was like, but once I get into that, once I'm in,
how long can you keep that up? It's going to be more than 7 rounds.
It's so easy to say when you're on a couch and just like, 3. I'm like, I don't know. So that to me is a big one. If you're somewhere like me where you're on the fence and it's not your best move, but it's something that you have, I think you got to kind of go off of how your warm-up goes that day. How's your grip feeling? How's your, how are you recovered from the week or whatever else there's been going on? But when it's something like 3, if you do break, you can't let that suck away any time. You got to get back to the barbell. So it's like, I'm sorry, if you came down, you got to hop back up. You can't use that as a chance to catch your breath. The same way if you were trying to string them together, you wouldn't get to rest. So that's where I think it could be dangerous for me. If I come off the bar, that means I'm going to wait.
Right.
Yeah, that is going to kill a lot of time to get back up there.
It's almost better for me to take my 3 breaths, jump up on the bar and do 3 in a row, rather than drop the snatch, jump up and do 1, come down, chalk,
maybe chalk up,
look at this guy, so it's like it would be better for me to be a little composed, knowing that I can do 3, compose, take a few breaths, and then attack the 3 set. So
when you stop, it feels worse. When you're moving, at least you're moving, and it hasn't all hit you yet.
What do you guys think about how to save the grip? Like, what should... Any tricks for that?
I saw someone at the gym doing mixed grip bar muscle ups today.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was really cool.
That's pretty rad.
I'm not level enough to do that. If you can open up, I'm like out here, so that's not an option for me.
Tough.
I see this all the time. I see people go, what do you guys think about people doing this?
I avoid this because I don't want to slip and take a bar.
But don't you think this burns out so much more grip?
No, I prefer thumbs around.
I have totally opposite opinion on that.
Oh, really?
So for gymnastics, because I spent my whole life with dowel grips, the dowel and the grip does all of the work for you. So I have the worst forearm strength out of anybody. So when I wrap my fingers around, I feel like I'm doing all the work here, but when I can grip over top of the bar with my thumb wrapped around the bar, I don't have to hardly do anything. I'm just hooked over.
That's crazy. I feel like I'm gonna slip every time.
I can almost not hang, just do a dead hang if my thumb is wrapped around. Oh, no. It's too much work. That's
yeah, so preference.
Yeah, you gotta do what's comfortable. Yeah.
What do you guys think about on the snatch? I like to do like a little closer grip than normal, almost like just wide of a clean
like
grip.
Almost clean and jerky.
Yeah, so it makes the distance a little longer, but it, meaning, you know, the closer your grip, the higher up you have to lift the bar. But with something that light, you can save some of the hand kind of being in an awkward wrist position. And so I tend to bring my hands in a little bit more narrow than my normal snatch.
Well, yeah, because wider is going to be more on your back because you got to reach.
Yeah, you have to get down so low.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so the more narrow grip, I don't have to get as low. So
it saves my back. If you have a back injury or if you deal with that, I think the less you have to bend over, over all of those reps is really going to make a difference.
Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah, hook grip, we all agree with that.
Yeah.
Hook grip your bar. Chalk your bar.
Yeah. So tape your hands.
You don't have to get chalk. Yeah, absolutely.
Tape your thumbs for your hook grip.
Yeah. Honestly, I've actually taped my thumbs for bar muscle up, not for you because you go over the top, but for me, I will get huge blisters right on the inside. Yep. From multiple bar muscle ups. So be aware of that.
Especially if you're planning on maybe having to repeat it, you want to keep your hands fresh.
Yeah. The people that tear their hands tomorrow are not going to want to redo it on Monday. No. So tonight would be the night to do some hand care, or if you're going to do it Saturday, some hand care on Friday night. I like to use, when my hands are dry, either like sandpaper or something that can kind of just scratch off the top layer. And then moisturize.
Yeah. Don't do too much.
If they're dry, then they're going to rip off.
Yeah. Softer is better.
Yes.
So bar muscle up. So this is going to be one of those things where you've probably been working on it and you're like, oh man, I hope that I get it. There's little things that you can do to hopefully make it easier. So number one, I think something that a lot of people don't think about is your grip, like knuckles to the sky. Like if you're gonna do hook on a on a ring, then you're gonna transition.
Like
you're gonna transition easier here than here. If you're gripping here, you've got to go all the way around. If you're already there, you have less to do.
Right. And that saves your grip too.
And that's going to save your grip. So knuckles always to the sky, whether you go thumb around or not, make sure that you're hanging on the bar here. Another thing, if you can jump off the ground, you're going to get a bigger kip swing into your first one. So don't do it where your toes are barely touching the floor or a mat, because you have to start that kip. And so I do a huge jump, head way through, that just flings me through. That I noticed that today. I tried one with my feet touching the mat and I was like, holy shit, because what that does is it forces you to do a chest to bar kip. The next tip, don't do a chest to bar kip. If you're kipping to chest to bar, this is going to be you.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're going to fuck up your shoulders. Yeah, the people that try to pull to their chest are the ones that end up doing that. After a while, that's really not good for your shoulders. So it is not a chest to bar kip. You're not doing a chest to bar. You're doing a muscle up kip like you would on the rings. Nothing is going to change.
The same way you do it with the rings.
Exactly.
It's almost a little bit
but easier because the bar is not moving. You can pull it down into your hips, not like it's trying to pull you out.
Right.
So anything you've been doing to work on a ring muscle up, apply the same exact thing. You're going to have to go around, same thing.
Right.
So
I think people forget that because the bar's in place, they try to shoot straight up, and I see a lot of people get stuck underneath as they try to turn over, and they're like, "Oh, my hip was to the bar. I don't understand. I'm getting
but they're like horizontal.
Yeah. Right. You have to remember that even though you're getting your hips to the bar, you need to clear the bar. So you're not just doing a vertical pull like through the rings. You can just go straight up.
Yeah.
The bar is in the way. You've got to clear it. So you need to pull those shoulders back, close down with the lats, get those hips up bar height, but still clear the bar and go up and around as opposed to straight up, and then you're gonna get stuck right in.
And the thing is, once your arms bend, you've cut your power on your kip. So if you're pulling early, you're done. You're gonna end up just pulling the bar into your chest. You have to be patient. You have to pull that bar to your hips. Once you get weightless, you sit up, but don't force it. It's not gonna. It's not. These movements are not something you like force.
It's momentum. It should be effortless. The people that you see that have really easy muscle ups, they look like they're floating up. Like if you watch Jackie, she's floating up. She's not muscling through. It doesn't look strict. It's a lot of kick.
Yeah, and another thing people confuse is you're always thinking shapes and you're not thinking angles. So you're hollow and you're arched, but you're not broken at the hips. So don't kip with the hip. With the hip hinge, you've got to stay hollow and you've got to arch to fling yourself over.
And if you squeeze your butt, you'll maintain those positions.
Exactly.
If you don't squeeze your butt, you'll pike at hips.
Yeah. So there's all these little things that you could do to hopefully clean it up and get one. The bar muscle up does not have to be as tricky as it sounds, because it's a lot easier than a ring muscle up. Yeah. So don't make it any bigger than it is. You know, just practice a really big kip, a really tight kip, and be patient.
Yeah, I actually did a little tutorial for the bar muscle up if people are interested in that.
No, definitely check it out.
On
Instagram,
you
can email me at lachancefit@gmail.com, and I put together, I break my muscle up down and just explain all of, like, every single phase, what you need to think about, what you need to avoid.
Yeah, and the more, like, the other day I tagged you in my video, for some reason, like, muscles were just clicking, and I was telling somebody, I was like, I go to bed every night and I'm just looking at videos. The more that your mind can understand this movement, the more that your body's gonna do it. So watch videos that break it down.
Because everybody's body moves through the same movement, but in different ways. And everybody needs a slightly different technique.
Yeah.
You know.